Lloyd Vehicle Consulting, not sponsored by Lancaster Insurance. Good afternoon. Today is the 30th of November and I'm here at the National Exhibition Centre in Birmingham for the Classic Motor Show, otherwise known as the Classic Car Show, sponsored by Lancaster Insurance. And this is the Modern Executive Classic Cars Group stand. I've had special permission to actually go on the stand, so you can see it says no entry, staff only. But we'll start with this Honda Legend here. This is actually an import. Now, these cars were sold in this country, but they weren't really much of a success, unfortunately. The Rover 800, which shared a platform with this, was much more successful. They were built in the same factory in Cowley in Oxford. I think they look quite different actually. There is an 800 we'll take a look at in a second, but I think these actually look quite different. This is a very high spec model. It's called the Xi exclusive. You can tell it's an exclusive because it actually tells you on the seats here. The equipment level in this car is absolutely ridiculous. Door courtesy lights, chromed locking knobs, soft touch dash, got some kind of overdrive feature on the automatic gearbox, climate control. It's actually got sort of radio controls up there too. Driver's airbag. It's got some unusual safety features in it as well. Now, Chris, who owned this car, is going to open the bonnet for me. There is the 2.7 litre engine. It's a V6. It was Honda's, I think it was Honda's first ever 6-cylinder engine, from what I remember, for a road car anyway. Also used in the Rover 800. So there's 2.7 litre. I think it's 178 horsepower, from what I remember. But yeah, it's quite complicated under there. It's not the simplest thing. That oil filler cap though looks very familiar. Very familiar. There's a similar one on the K-Series engine, but that was normally yellow on the later ones. Black maybe on the earlier ones. But yes, you just don't see these. I mean, the 4,000 or so Legends that were produced at Cowley were just not up to the standard that Honda wanted, so they hardly sold any, and the Rover was, I think, easy to get hold of and things. So just beautiful car. I bought it quite a few years ago actually into the country. I forget now whether this is an 89 or 90. 90 was the last year production for the Mark 1 Legend. Even got some little up you get out, which is actually quite useful. Stitching on the doors here. It is real leather. And if you look just down here, you can see it's got controls for the heating and ventilation for the rear passengers, and sort of radio controls. Can't remember if there are heating and ventilation controls for rear passengers. And little courtesy lights there. Extraordinary car in a very nice colour. You just don't see these at all. Come around here and have a look. Just at the dash. I'm very tempted just to kind of sit in here and drift off, but I can't do that. Got too many cars to film. Illuminated keyring, right-hand indicator stalk, of course. Cruise control and traction control. Electric seat. 4 horn buttons for some reason. And the boot release is actually here, although it's been pre-popped for me, which is nice. Don't know what all that means. Who knows? Nice wind deflectors as well. See, very sort of typical Japanese of the era. Light strip on the back. Let's just open the boot. V6 Xi exclusive. Quite a big boot actually. Unlike the Rover 800, there was no hatchback version of these available. And in 1990, the next generation was launched. Rover didn't have enough money to actually make a brand new car like Honda did. So what they did was facelift the car. and this is a very late R17 800. I don't actually know what spec this is. I should have asked really, but I don't actually know. See, it looks quite different from the Legend, doesn't it? Very different. Go to the test. Sorry, I knew what model it was. I didn't know what engine it was. This could be a couple of different engines. I'm not actually sure. Of course, you've got the Jaguar Xj here, which has a lovely beige leather interior. We do like those on this channel with wood. Not sure what year this is actually. You'd have to wait for these screens to kind of scroll through to actually see. But I'm afraid I can't really wait. I've got many places to be. We do, however, like this Nissan Bluebird Premium. I think this has appeared on the Furious Driving channel. There we go. It is a 90. I thought it was. It's a very late one. This has appeared on the Furious Driving channel. I forget whether again this is an 89 or a 90. Premium, despite the name, still got wind-up windows, so it's not the top-of-the-range model in these. There were things like the ZX Turbo and things like that, which were higher, but the condition of this is ridiculously nice. That is one tasty car. Right, I think I'd better move on because we've got lots of other places to be. Wonderful. Rover 200 BRM. In fact, several Rover 200 BRMs. This is a 1999 example. I think they were mainly sold in 99, but the price of them kept dropping because nobody wanted to buy these originally. It's a real shame. I mean, look at this red leather interior with the metal gear lever, the gear knob I should say. Whoops, I almost pulled the stand over. I think we will avoid doing that, viewers. Whoever said it was not the Shambolic Shuffles, because it is. I think they stopped the last 200 BRM about maybe 2000. It was after the Row 25 was launched in November 99. But yes, these are the correct wheels for it. They are similar to the Cosmos wheels, which were found on certain Rover 45s, which is the one I have. But yes, big orange intake, 1.8 K-series engine with VBC, developing 143 brake horsepower. And there's the view at the other side. Oh, it's got a red leather handbrake lever too. All of them were finished in this particular colour. Oh, more Rovers, yes please. Rover P6 Club. Excellent. So these were launched about, I think 63 these came out originally. Same sort of time as the Triumph 2000, and later on of course they were, you know, friends under the same British Leyland empire. This is a 2200 SC, so it's a Mark II with a slightly enlarged engine. I think it's a vinyl interior rather than leather one beer, so we won't get too excited today. End, so 74, 75 plate. This one though is the V8. No, the P. I think they're called the P6B as well, like a P5B. This one's an auto. That there was, I think, with the 3500S, a manual option too. Police love these. Put down the wheels, but I think those are a period option, although you have to tell me about that. Get some very nice wheels on this. In fact, here is a Rover 3500S with a manual gearbox. Fantastic, viewers. It's lovely dash in these. It's P, so 75, 76 plate. Right, let's go and find some other tasty morsels on some of the other stands. Here is the Austin Counties Car Club. 1948 Austin 16. Must confess I don't know an awful lot about these. Looks very sort of immediately post-war, doesn't it? Before they had this sort of pontoon type shape of car. 1950 Austin A90 Atlantic convertible. Yeah, they made them for American tastes, and they just weren't very successful, unfortunately, despite being a beautiful car. Very nice. And the Cyclops headlamp, like a original Rev 75. 1952 Austin A40 Devon van. I don't think I've ever seen one of these in real life. It's not got the fancy grille either. It's just got the sort of plain steel slots. Wow. Ooh, this is nice as well. Austin A70 Hereford Coupe. I thought it wasn't an A40 because it's far too big for that. It's 1953. Spent several years in America. Wow, certainly big enough for America, right, isn't it? What's not so big is a couple of Austin 7s. 1938 Austin 7 Opel, so a very late one. I think production finished about in 1939 for the 7. 1936 Austin 7 Ruby. Mr. Richardson Furious Driving has a review of one of these. I don't think it's this one, I think it's a different one. I think I quite enjoyed it actually. They're not really my sort of thing, a little bit too old for me. I might like to try one at some stage, but I don't know if I'd like to go any distance in it. Austin 7 Chummy from 1929. It's very chummy in here. It's just, gosh, there's just no room at all. At least the handbrake and gear lever are in the right place and the pedals are the right way around. That's one good thing. These Morris J-types. Yes, it looks like they are. I always remember the J-type from the film which was called Doctor Who Dalek Invasion Earth 2150 AD or something, where they had a J-type that apparently lasted, I don't know, almost 200 years and it still worked. Oh, I forgot they built them as Austins, of course. The Morris O-type vans, which are based on the minor, were also sold as Austins. It's a 101 type JB, so it's a very late one. It's a 1960, so very late for these. It's in very nice condition. Right, viewers, somewhat familiar territory for my channel. The Rover 75 and MG Owners Club. This is a 2004, or at least I think it's a 2004, that is a personal plate. MG ZTT 180 Plus Sports Auto. The ZTT 180 was only available with an automatic gearbox. I think someone's modified this. I'm not sure we got the interior like that originally. It's a monogram colour. This is a facelifted car. I've had 3 ZTs on my channel. One ZTT 190 Plus from 2004 as well, but pre-facelift. And then 2 facelifted ZTs, a ZT 120 from I think it was a 2005, and then a ZT 160 from 2006, so late registration. (2002) or 75 Connoisseur SE. Unfortunately, that is a forbidden fuel engine, so unless I'm feeling like I'm in Seabrook, we don't talk about those on the channel. And unfortunately, once I did, because I was not quite feeling myself, so I started talking about it. Ooh, what's this? Oh, viewers. This is a ZT 260. It's the Ford's modular V8 engine. Oh, these are rare. Very, very rare, these ones. Rear wheel drive. Yes, V8 badge, ZT260. Birmingham plates originally registered by and driven themselves 2004, 2005. Don't see too many of these around. Neither do you see too many of Rover ST1s, and well, you know, I'm very happy about seeing Rover ST1s myself. This one looks particularly fetching in this lovely period colour. This is a later pre-facelift one. I think these are all pre-facelifts actually. This is the earlier one with the skeleton badge on it and the metal bumpers. It's very similar to the car that was used in the New Avengers and the Professionals. It was MOC229P, I believe, a very early one. Yeah, it's a 3,500, so it's almost identical. But this is a manual, and I think the one in New England was an auto. This is a V8S, which was a sort of later pre-facelift version of these. And this window's been left open, so we can take a look. David Bache, the designer. See the vent there. Got the steering wheel, but you just move the instrument pod over there. Very clever for moving from right to left-hand drive if you needed to. Another pre-facelift one here, so a later one with the different Rover badge. Take a look at some. Is that some crushed velour or something? Electric windows and a interesting choke lever that be careful you don't break. It's another V8 one. Must be going for the V8 this time. Maybe it's because it's the 45th anniversary of the ST1 this year. The 3081 Motor Club has this 77-78 Triumph 1500. Tiny little things, aren't they? Absolutely tiny. Jaguar E-Type Series 1 Roadster, 1966. I actually do have a review of a 66 E-Type on the channel. It's filmed about 2 years ago. It's a Fallon Subscriber special, but no one's ever watched it, I'm afraid, which is a shame. And then a late P4 here. This is a Rover 110 from 1963. We've got an Alpha 166 here, 2001. Is this a Busso engine one? Yes, it is. And it's just set there. All 3-litre super with a manual gearbox. And a beige leather interior with some wood. Ooh, I do like that view. We do like a beige leather interior. And wood does help. BMW 3 Series B46 racing car. Honda S660. I think this is a 2015. Recently it's appeared on Mr. Ian Seabrook's channel. Does look like it's fun if I actually get in there myself. It's always a worry I have with cars, I have to get in them. 1995 Peugeot 106 Rally. I think this is the 1.3 engine, which is quite rare. Not many TU engines were 1.3s. It's an 1100 or a 1300. It is an 1100. It's a Mark 1. 67 only. Ooh, another Renault Fuego. We saw one of these yesterday, viewers. Renault Fuego GTS. Y registration, so 82, 83. Is that the original? No, it's not the original bill of sale, but it says this is an 83. I don't know what engine this is. Oh, it's got headlamp wipers and yellow floodlights. How extraordinary. That's rather nice. Oh, it's just a 1.7, so nothing too too big. Wow. An Opel GT. There's a 1.9 engine. Now these are pretty rare. They sold in America. I don't know how many they sold over here. This is a 69 on an H. Volkswagen Type 3. I always forget what these are called. 68 with the 1.6 engine. There are all the cooling vents because the engine is in the boot. What's that? What is that? It's a Humber. Humber 20s. I've seen that before. I think I've seen it before somewhere. 2CV Special, of course. 87. Oh, here we are. There is information on that. 25 Humber 818 2CV. Morris 8 Series E, I think. Yes, it is. Which is nice to know I'm right for once in these, because I'm not completely uninformed, which is it's a real risk. 1946, so immediately post-war. It's just a right-hand drive BMW 3 CSR. Viewers, do like things like this. We like them quite a lot. And yes, there is an information board there. It's a 72. Very nice. Very, very nice indeed. Very, very expensive when new indeed. Nice colour actually. Some more rather tasty Rileys. I don't know the difference between the RMA, RMB and RMC, so we'll just have a look at them, shall we? Ooh, it's been restored recently. It's got some nice seats in it. It's absolutely immaculate. Wow. 1954 Riley Royale. It's had a replacement body. Just a bit like a Bugatti Atlantique. So if this is a brand new sort of coach body, that's fantastic. Riley RM, oh, it's got an information sheet on it, excellent. 1947 Riley RMA, so one of the first RMs. What fabric it is, I'm not going to touch it, viewers. Answers in the comment section below. Some more interesting stuff here. Some Morris J4 from it's a very late one. They finished actually 74, so this badge is Austin Morris that you can see in front of there. 72, 73. That would be. Ferrari 328 GTB. I don't know what the year split one is. That's just the year range it just gave on the information sheet. 85, 86 private registration. Another Renault 4. This is an earlier one than the one we saw last time. Oh, there's a good. There's a thing here. Here we are. 1968. The 845cc engine. I think that's a Cleon Font engine actually. Ah, yes, the glass coolant reservoir. Excellent, with weird gear lever as well. Ah, the Vanden Plas Owners Club. I say Vanden Plas, there are other things you can say, but in contemporary advertising in the 1980s, Austin Rover used the Vanden Plas pronunciation, but others are equally correct. I just happened to say it because that's what I knew. Now, the Maestro Vanden Plas that I filmed for my channel last year, which has just been sold actually. It looked very similar to this. This is an even earlier one with the R series engine. The one I drove had the S series engine. The R series engine, it didn't go very well, so they upgraded it for July 84. The one I drove was an 85. So this has got the different interior as well. This is also a manual. The one that I drove was an auto, although it didn't help that the steering was unassisted and incredibly heavy, like heavier than you can imagine. It was also this auto red colour. Maestro Vanden Plas are very, very rare. I prefer the later type. There was a very, very nice, I think on an E-plate, later Maestro Vanden Plas. They finished production in '88, and I really, really liked it. That had a beige leather interior. But the rest of them, it's a Princess 1300, it's ADO16 type. That is a it's only 72. Very nice. Yeah, 1100 Mark 1, it's registered to 67, so quite a late Mark 1 for ADO16s. I don't know if that's vinyl or leather. If it's leather, then it's beige leather, and I do very much like it. It's a 63 plate on it. Interesting. Ooh, Vanden Plas 4 litre R. Yes, viewers. This must be a beige leather interior. I'm going to have to wait a second to be able to actually get a close-up of it, but yes, proper wood and leather. Amazing. Look at that dashboard. Wow. These came out, I think, 66, from what I remember. And was registered, no, 64. I get confused because there were other Vanden Plas Princesses before this, in this sort of larger shape, which is called the Westie by a lot of people because it's the same as Austin Westminster, the overall shape. But the Vanden Plas was considerably more expensive. The Suffix plates that we know and love didn't necessarily come in until about 64, 65, so this car might still be on its original plate and just not have a suffix on it. Let's just quickly have a look at the Morris register stand. We've got maybe a couple of minutes left in this part, so we'll just do that quickly. Obviously got the pre-war ones out here. 1933 Morris Cowley sliding head saloon, fitted with Wilco robot trafficators that were then banned in March 2033. Look at those, are crazy. 1939 Morris H Series E Taurus. So Morris H Series E's were made both pre and post facelift. Green with a green interior. '34 Morris Minor Family 8. The car was rebuilt during the lockdown. Brilliant. Horace for Morris. That is lovely. It's this one here. These kind of dark green colours are just not seen so much on modern cars. I don't know why, it's just a shame. 1937 Series 1 two-door sliding head Morris 8 saloon. Originally registered in Essex, so it's an NA plate. Let's have a look at these Morris commercials, this last thing. Don't know anything about these really, but 1932 Morris commercial T2 breakdown truck from Toaster. Wow, it's complicated to put your car on them just using a flatbed like that. 1947. Whoops, sorry. Hand slip there. Just get a better grip. 1947 LCS post office telephones vehicle. Amazing that this has survived. I expect something like this should be scrapped a long time ago. Let's take a look at this flatbed truck with a 1970-71 Morris 1800 Not 2 on it. I don't remember offhand what actually these big ones were called. I forget now, I'm good on this sort of thing, dude. There we go. Say 1961 FFK flatbed. Excellent. Well, thank you ever so much indeed for watching this ninth part of a slightly shambolic shuffle. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like this video and leave a comment below. We'll continue in Hall 4 and then we will go into Hall 3 to finish off the day. Thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please switch on notifications and subscribe to be informed of the next part of these. I think we're going to be doing some region of 15 parts at this rate. Thank you.